Any second now. And we are live. The YouTube doesn't say it yet. We're going to test it. We're going to wait. Connecting. Still connecting. Yeah, chat's dead. And we're live. It says we're 7 seconds live, so it probably has been seeing us live this entire time.
All right. That's awesome.
Technicalities. Can I edit the stream now? No, it won't give me the ability to edit the stream. We'll figure that out here in a second. We are doing a Bible study in Proverbs chapter 3. We're starting in chapter 3.
In person together. Whenever I get to be in person with my best buddy, it's always an honor and a privilege.
I think I like it over the internet, to be honest.
Hmm?
I'm just messing with you.
Oh, you'd rather I be in Austell, Georgia.
Where you can't hit me. Anyway,
I was expecting you to hit me back.
Anyway, our show today is Proverbs 3 because we did Proverbs 1 and 2 last time, as I was saying before Ryan rudely interrupted. And I'm gonna move that. And do you remember what happened in Proverbs chapter 1 and 2?
Well, a bunch of wise sayings occurred. Chapter 1, he basically said, don't run with the bad guys.
I wouldn't say they were wise sayings. They weren't proverbs. They were, hey, listen to what I'm about to tell you, if I had to sum it up. That'd be my opinion on it.
Mm-hmm.
They were wise. The words were wise because saying listen to wisdom is a wise thing to say. But it was more like listen to what I am going to tell you. We haven't actually gotten into the wisdom yet.
Okay.
I have Proverbs pulled up here. And boom, you all have the ability now to see it. And it's not showing up on my camera for some reason. Can you guys see that? Chat, if we're live, tell us what's going on. Oh, hi, Gigi, by the way.
Hey, gangster.
Gangster Ghost is always the first. He's always the first to show up. Just a little shout out to him. Anyway, it's pulling up for you guys. So that's where I'm going to leave it. Because I can't seem to find it on my end. It's not going to pop up. So I'm just going to go to the tab and split screen like this. And you should be able to see if I highlight something. Can you see that? Let me see. Yeah, you should be able to see that. Oh, crap. I'm breaking everything. Okay, I'm going to move this over here. I'm going to open the Bible app, and we're going to get started. Ryan, you want to read?
Why do you keep turning the cam off?
The cam's not off. I don't know why it's doing this.
Yeah, I'd like to read. I've got my printed Bible right here. I just don't see myself up there. Is it?
It's right here. You're seen. Let me. Do you see it right here? This is what it looks like. Okay. We're in the corner.
Yeah, chapter 3.
Let me just. That should be better. Yeah, go for it.
All right, here's chapter 3. My son, forget not my law, but let thine heart keep my commandments. For length of days and long life and peace shall they add to thee. Let not mercy and truth forsake thee. Bind them about thy neck, write them upon the table of thine heart. So shalt thou find favor and good understanding in the sight of God and man. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. Seems like didn't we do chapter 3 also last week? I remember reading that, I thought.
No, I do. I remember reading that verse.
Because that's a famous verse. They made that into a song. Maybe we should be on chapter 4.
Hold on. So over here, please don't say I messed it up.
It's all right. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, but it means that the entire intro is stupid and wrong. Let me look at something real quick. Oh, look, we're reading chapter 3.
I thought we did. Yeah,
So what's the last words in chapter 3?
the wise shall inherit glory, but shame shall be the promotion of fools.
I don't remember doing all of chapter 3. I remember that verse. I just don't remember doing all of chapter 3. And I
Yeah.
don't see myself scrolling down on chapter 3 at all.
Well, I mean, we can do chapter 3 again if you want to. It's up to you. I assume do.
I'm fast forwarding. Okay, normally I leave it at editor's edition. I talk to the editor.
Hmm.
Did 3 chapters.
Yeah, we did.
And if you notice, I'm talking to myself right there because I know that I forget these things. And I messed up on the editing. So save, edit. We are actually starting Proverbs chapter 4. So let me fix that real quick. I am failing today miserably. 4.
Probably because
Enter.
I'm here. I'm bad luck.
Yeah, he's been hitting me all day. Okay, chapter 4. My apologies.
Are you
Share
ready?
screen. You've swapped to chapter 4 now. We have our camera on and we are running the show. So hold on. Hold on. There you go. Now you're in frame.
Okay, even though I can't see. Okay.
Right there. Continue.
Chapter 4. Hear, ye children, the instruction of a father, and attend to know understanding. For I give you good doctrine. Forsake ye not the law. For I was my father's son, tender and only beloved in the sight of my mother. He taught me also and said unto me, let thine heart retain my words, keep my commandments, and live. Get wisdom, get understanding, forget it not, neither decline from the words of my mouth. Forsake her not, and she shall preserve thee. Love her, and she shall keep thee. Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding. Exalt her, and she shall promote thee. She shall bring thee to honor when thou dost embrace her. She shall give to thine head an ornament of grace, a crown of glory shall she deliver to thee. Hear, O son, and receive my sayings. In the years of thy life shall be many. I have taught thee in the way of wisdom. I have led thee in right paths. When thou goest, my steps shall not be straitened, and when thou runnest, thou shalt not stumble. Take fast hold of instruction. Let her not go. Keep her, for she is thy life. Enter not into the path of the wicked, and go not in the way of evil men. Avoid it. Pass not by it. Turn from it, and pass away. For they sleep not, except they have done mischief, and their sleep is taken away, unless they can cause some to fall. For they eat the bread of wickedness, and drink the wine of violence. For the path of the just is as the shining light that shineth more and more under the perfect day. The way of the wicked is as darkness. They know not at what they stumble. My son, attend to my words. Incline thine ear unto my sayings. Let them not depart from thine eyes. Keep them in the midst of thine heart. For they are life unto those that find them, and health to all their flesh. Keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. Put away from thee a froward mouth, and preserve lips put far from thee. Perverse lips put far from thee. Let thine eyes look right on, and let thine eyelids look straight before thee. Ponder the path of thy feet, and let all thy ways be established. Turn not to the right hand, nor to the left. Remove in thy foot from evil. That's the end of chapter 4.
Congratulations, we actually got onto the right chapter and everything, so we are doing good now. So I don't, how do I put it? I don't get much out of this so far. Pretty much you're just saying, stay the straight and narrow.
Mhm.
Is that, am I missing something?
The
I feel like it's
words
the
that
whole
I tell
chapter for
you,
that.
just meditate on the words that I tell you. Keep those in your heart. Don't let evildoers pull you off track.
Yeah.
So yeah, they eat the bread of wickedness and drink the wine of violence, but in the path of the just is the shining light that shineth more and more unto the perfect day.
There is a chapter.
Mm-hmm.
Did I spell this wrong?
Yeah, the S and the P are backwards.
The S and the P are backwards. It's
Psalms
instead of Psalms.
Yeah, that's Psalms.
I'm sorry, it just doesn't seem to make sense to me how they spell chapters. Oh, what am I looking for? I had a verse. It's in Psalms 99, I believe. It's a very popular verse. It says something along the lines of like, put nothing wicked before your eyes. I'm just gonna read a little bit of Psalms 99 because I feel like it connects. Because they said, stay pure, stay righteous. And over here it says, the Lord reigneth, let the people tremble. Verse 5, exalt ye the Lord our God and worship at his footstool. So they're worshiping God. And as I go on, and you can read all of this, let me put it up so you can see it. Now you should be able to see it with me. There you are. There's my cursor right here. You can see my cursor. I'm trying to find it. I know I'm close. Exalt the Lord our God. And they say how they want to exalt the Lord their God and worship. It might be Psalms 100. I know it's close. And these chapters are short, as you can see. Why is everything glitching? You guys see that, right? Okay. Mark a joyful noise. What do you do?
I just sent that to the group. That message.
Here, I'm going to ask. Hold on. I'm going to ask a friend. Where is the verse in the Bible? Put no wicked thing before your eyes. Let me see what it says. Psalms 101, verse 3. We would have been here for quite some time. 101, verse 3. So they're talking about how they will worship. I don't know why it's glitching around so much. They're talking about how they worship. And it says, I will sing of mercy and judgment unto thee, O Lord, will I sing. I will behave myself wisely in a perfect way. O when wilt thou come unto me? I will walk within my house with a perfect heart. Verse 3, I will set no wicked thing before mine eyes. I hate the work of them that turn aside. It shall not cleave unto me. So what we see here, is a person who wants to worship God, wants to make them proud, and they automatically connect praise with uprightness and wisdom with uprightness. And they say that they hate the one that walks the crooked path. We go back over to here, and which verse was it where they said, put away from thee a froward mouth and perverse lips, but for far from thee?
4:24, yeah.
Yeah, verses 24. I'll show you back on the screen. Right here. Right there.
Put away from the, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Keep the heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. You want to avoid the issues of life? Watch your heart. This is why we laughed at Andrew when we were trying to explain to him what is good dating advice and what isn't. And we were just chilling last Sunday. By the way, I invite you to our Sunday shows. We just hang out and chill and have fun. And we were talking about dating advice. And he said, follow your heart. And we all died laughing because out of the heart will all guard your heart with all diligence, for out of it are all the issues of life. All the issues of life. Right? Did I get that wrong? No, it doesn't say all. It says out of
it are the issues of life.
Are the issues of life. Right here. Are the issues of life, not all. I don't want to mislead you guys. It says are, not all. Anyway, what that says, though, is many of your issues come from the heart. You follow your heart, you're going to have issues. I don't know how to put it anything different.
Yeah. The saying, follow your heart, is the worst advice you can give to somebody. This thing, see, I'm wearing the shirt again. This thing can get you into trouble if you let it rule you. Now, the heart is useful. We have feelings and we have emotions, but we don't let our emotions rule us because we can get in trouble that way. And that way in my life, I could have gotten in trouble. I'm sure the same thing with all of you.
Yeah.
You have to always do the right thing, the thing that is right, not always the thing that feels right.
Coming from a place where I used to suppress emotion, I've learned that emotion can be powerful. Emotion can be a lot like the Hulk. You can become all big and buff and do something because you had emotion. And I wonder, does Jesus ever showcase emotion? And it turns out he showcases all the major emotions. If you look at the major ones, joy, sadness, anger, disgust, he showcases all of these at one point.
What's the shortest verse in the Bible?
Jesus wept.
Jesus wept. He wept even though he knew he was going to raise Lazarus from the dead. I used to wonder, why is he crying when he knows what he's about to do? But see, this is the reason he wept. He was feeling the pain of those who were mourning Lazarus.
Sadness.
He was feeling their sadness.
Sadness is the best way to feel somebody, to understand them. Sadness is the emotional eyes. You want to understand somebody, you should understand them through sadness the most clearly.
Yes.
So, sadness is good. People say, sadness is just this, bad feeling, take drugs to make it go away. No, sadness is there for a reason. Anger. How can we, think, would Jesus ever be angry? Anger is an issue. Anger is a problem people have. No, anger is good.
If it's righteous anger.
If you get angry and do not sin, which is what the Bible says, be angry, don't sin, you do good. Jesus made a whip out of his anger and he tore up the temple because he wanted to do good. And he did good. And he did not sin.
Yeah, he was angry at what was happening, at the thievery that was occurring in the temple. In the temple, he said, you people are ripping people off and you're right here in the temple doing it. So he put a stop to it.
Yeah, really quick. And joy, everybody already says joy, so we don't need to fight too much for joy. But there were times when Jesus was glad to have his, fellow disciples. Let me see, was there any other? Disgust. Oh yeah, Jesus gets disgusted. I can't think of one at the moment, but I know in the Bible it says that homosexuality is an abomination unto the Lord. Abomination means it makes you feel sick. It is like a sickness to you. For example, an abomination unto me would be like food poisoning. I would throw it up.
Speaking of which, I can give you a perfect example of God being disgusted. The Laodicean church. Be ye lukewarm, I'll spew you out of my mouth.
Yeah.
A lukewarm church, a lukewarm Christian disgusts God. I used to be a carnal, lukewarm, half-hearted Christian, but he put a stop to that when he chastened me. He said, you're going to be all in for me. You're going to be serious about your faith. You're going to get that one foot out of the world and put both feet into my kingdom. He had a special way of doing that.
I'm going to read the chapter. We're going to put it right here. Share. And just to double check, you can see my mouse. Okay. Chapter 5, Proverbs chapter 5. And I'm going to actually go back to the edit and I'm going to put through 5. So I will be updating the description as I go so I don't forget. So, boom, saved. It doesn't show it on my end, but it should show it on your end.
Mm-hmm.
And before we start chapter 5, let's make sure that we haven't missed any comments. Hi, AD33.
Hi, Quaker Jake.
And we have GG in the comments, as we saw earlier.
Quaker Jake, can you do us a favor? Try to be here the whole time, and if you have to use your blue wrench, please
Whack somebody on the top of the head with it.
If you have to, we appreciate it, Quaker Jake.
Okay, we are gonna get moving. Oh, by the way, if you've gotten this far, make sure that you are subscribed, hit the little like notification buttons and all of that stuff. You know, thumbs up. And we're not
hit the little heart.
Hold on.
Oh, we're muted?
Camera.
Oh,
there
camera
we go.
On, yes.
Thumbs up. I like the camera. If we don't have the camera, yell at us. We'll go and check the comments and we'll make sure that happens. Chapter 5. Should I read this one?
If you want to.
Do you want to read it?
I can read it.
Do you want me to or you?
I'll read it.
Be decisive.
I'll read it.
Okay.
My son, attend unto my wisdom, and bow thine ear to my understanding, that thou mayest regard discretion, and that thy lips may keep knowledge. For the lips of a strange woman drop as an honeycomb, and her mouth is smoother than oil. See, I put a little bit of feeling into it. But her end is bitter as wormwood, sharp as a two-edged sword. Her feet go down to death. Her steps take hold on hell. Lest thou shouldest ponder the path of life, her ways are movable, that thou canst not know them. Hear me now, therefore, O ye children, and depart not from the words of my mouth. Remove thy way far from her, and come not nigh the door of her house. Lest thou not give thine honor unto others, and thy years unto the cruel. Lest strangers be filled with thy wealth, and thy labors be in the house of a stranger. And thou mourn at the last, when my flesh and my body are consumed, and say, how have I hated instruction, and my heart despised reproof. Have not obeyed the voice of my teachers, nor inclined mine ear to them that instructed me. I was almost in all evil in the midst of the congregation and assembly. Drink waters out of thine own cistern, and running waters out of thine own well. Let thy fountains be dispersed abroad, and rivers of waters in the streets. Let them be only thine own, and not strangers with thee. Let thy fountain be blessed, and rejoice with the wife of thy youth. Let her be as the loving hind and pleasant roe. Let her breasts satisfy thee at all times, and be thou ravished always with her love. And why wilt thou, my son, be ravished by a strange woman, and embrace the bosom of a stranger? For the ways of man are before the eyes of the Lord, and he ponderingeth all his goings. His own iniquities shall take the wicked himself, and he shall be holden with the cords of his sins. He shall die without instruction. He shall go astray.
What is he talking about there? Do you know?
Do I know?
Do you know?
Do you know where you're going to?
What's he referring to by this strange woman?
Yeah, that would probably be like, let's say, someone attempting him to commit adultery, probably.
I'd say
that
so.
Would be somebody, a temptress, someone that is tempting him.
Who has the smooth words,
Mm-hmm.
and, you know, draws you in, but then messes you up. Because that's what sin does. It's, you know, fun for a season.
Yes.
And then it destroys you.
Yes.
And so you end up having the thing, and then, you know, it's confirmed. It's confirmed when he then says, have a wife. Have a wife. Your young years be taken by people who want to use you.
Do I know anyone who had a wife in his youth?
I don't know. Maybe not. Who knows?
That's a joke.
I'm old. I'm old.
Oh, no, you're not.
You see this right here? I'm going gray.
No, that's called paint.
But yeah, like, not to get into too graphic of details, you can read it right there for yourself. But the general thing is, they say have a wife in your youth, invest in her, build your own stuff. Don't give your wealth away, store it. Now, when I say wealth, I'm not referring to money. I'm referring to the idea of your purity, your family, your holiness. When you go around chasing all these things in your youth, you give your young years away.
Yes.
When you say, hey, I'm going to commit to a woman, I'm going to build a family in your youth, then when you become old, you have a family. You have a loving spouse. You built all of these things that make you exceedingly wealthy. Again, not in money, but in life.
Let me give my advice to those who are watching. I've heard people say, well, I want my 20 years to be my party years. My 20 years, I'll settle down. I'll settle down with one person when I'm in my 30s. Don't do that. You don't need to do that. You don't need to sow your oats. It's not necessary. This young man got married at 18, and I think he did it the right way. I'm not saying everybody get married at 18, but start when you reach adulthood, start thinking of a spouse, of a husband or wife. Start having your mind on that. And maybe it'll take a few years for you to find the right person. But don't have this, I'm gonna party in my 20s. No, don't do that.
Yeah. And just to be clear, I wasn't looking for a spouse per se. Like, I wasn't like desperate and I needed a spouse, and it wasn't what I was looking for. How do I put it? I just wasn't against having a spouse in my youth because I understood that God designed it to work that way. And if I had found the right person, then of course I would marry them, and I wouldn't, wait till you're old, because that's the way the world thinks. The world says don't get married until you're in your 30s, and don't have kids until you're in your 40s, and freeze your eggs because you need to go and make a career. And that is of the devil. That is the world's view. The Bible says get married young, have lots of kids.
Yes.
Invest. And this is the true investment.
Children are a blessing. They're not a burden. Don't look at children as a burden. Selfish. Don't be selfish. I'll tell you right now, there are two precious little blessings in that room, and they truly are. I mean, they're
truly classified.
I there's no better feeling in the world than to just hold one of them and just see how precious they are. That's
my oldest said Ryan recently, and he practically started crying.
I know. Today, his older son said my name, and that warmed my heart so much. It meant so much to me because, I consider, if you know my story, I never married or had kids. And so I consider this family to be my family. That's why I come up here all the time, because I just love being with them. Such a warm feeling to be here.
Okay, that is chapter 5. Let's keep going. Let's truck along.
Yep. You want me to read 6?
I mean, I can read 6 if you're too embarrassed. I've not gotten a single chapter.
I don't know. It depends on what words I have to say.
We could switch to the Song of Solomon if we need to.
Okay, chapter 6.
That's a book we should have Andrew read.
Oh! Yeah, let's have Andrew read that one. My son, if thou be surety for thy friend.
Hold on, I got to get the live going. I need to... Boom, bam, bam. There you go. Just making sure we have our mouse going. Yep, okay. We're on the right part.
Son, if thou be surety for thy friend, if thou hast stricken thy hand with a stranger, thou art snared with the words of thy mouth. Thou art taken with the words of thy mouth. Do this now, my son, and deliver thyself when thou art come into the hand of my friend. Go, humble thyself, and make sure thy friend. Give not sleep to thine eyes, nor slumber to thine eyelids. Deliver thyself as a roe from the hand of the hunter, and as a bird from the hand of the fowler. Oh, here's one that we've heard many times. Go to the ant, thou sluggard. Consider her ways. And yes, worker ants are female, and they knew this way back then. Sorry, I had to throw that in there.
Because Ryan's sexist.
No, I'm saying the fact that the writer of this book knew that the worker ant was female. Which having no guide, overseer, or ruler, provideth her meat in the summer, and gathereth for her food in the harvest. How long wilt thou sleep, O sluggard? When wilt thou arise out of thy sleep? Yet a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to sleep. So shall thy poverty come as one that traveleth, and thy want as an armed man. A naughty person, a wicked man, walketh with a froward mouth. If I'm saying that right, is it froward? Okay.
Froward.
Froward mouth. Oh, yeah. He winketh with his eyes. He speaketh with his feet. He teacheth with his fingers. Forwardness is in his heart. He deviseth mischief continually. He soweth discord. Therefore shall his calamity come suddenly. Suddenly shall he be broken without remedy. These 6 things doth the Lord hate. Yea, 7 are an abomination unto him. A proud look, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood, and heart that deviseth wicked imaginations, feet that be swift in running to mischief, a false witness that speaketh lies, and he that soweth discord among brethren. My son, keep thy father's commandment, and forsake not the law of thy mother. Bind them continually upon thine heart, and tie them about thy neck. When thou goest, it shall lead thee. When thou sleepest, it shall keep thee. And when thou awakest, it shall talk with thee. For the commandment is a lamp, and the law is light, and the reproofs of instruction are the way of life. To keep thee from the evil woman, from the flattery of the tongue of a strange woman. Lest not after her beauty in thine heart, neither let her take thee with her eyelids. For by means of a whorish woman, a man is brought to a piece of bread.
I want to stop right there.
Okay.
By means of a whorish woman, a man is, what was it again?
Is brought to a piece of bread.
Is brought to a piece of bread. Meaning his value has come down to a piece of bread, which stales within a day, mind you, back in then. And I'm saying, how many good men can you think of who, because of a whorish woman, have been torn down from where they were? I can think of so many, from the Bible to, other things, modern day. I mean, how many pastors do you hear, person was cheating on their spouse, this, that, the other thing. How many times? I mean, think about it. This is like the first few chapters of Proverbs, and we have had the same warning several times now. Stay away from whores.
I was just going to finish the verse. It says, and the adulteress will hunt for the precious life. And, when Billy Graham was young, it's just starting his ministry, he went to some pastors, leaders that he looked up to, and he said, what is the number one thing that brings down a ministry? And they all said adultery. And so he said, okay, I'll make sure that never happens to me. And so he had a policy whereby he would never be alone with a woman who was not his wife. If he was with a woman who was not his wife, there had to be at least one other person in the room. And he had that policy throughout his entire ministry. And hey, he never
stumble if there's everybody around.
He never had a scandal because he made that his policy. And if you have a proclivity towards something, make sure that you don't put yourself in a situation where you might stumble. Always, have safeguards. So anyway. May I continue with verse 27? Can a man take fire in his bosom and his clothes not be burned? That's pretty cool. Can one go upon hot coals and his feet not be burned? So he that goeth in to his neighbor's wife, whosoever toucheth her shall not be innocent. Just like we were talking about. Don't put yourself in that situation. Men do not despise a thief if he steal to satisfy his soul. But to be found, if he be found, he shall restore sevenfold and shall give all the substance of his house. But whoso committeth adultery with a woman lacketh understanding. He that doeth it destroyeth his own soul. A wound in dishonor shall he get, and his reproach shall not be wiped away. For jealousy is the rage of a man. Therefore he will not spare in the day of vengeance. He will not regard any ransom, neither will he rest content, though thou givest many gifts. And that concludes chapter 6.
Okay. I want to stop the screen share. And I want to pull up, let's do share live pad. No, that's not it. How about share whiteboard? Do we not have a whiteboard? Hold on. None of this is what I wanted. Hold on. How about, I'm going to work on this for a second. I want to pull up an interactive board that I can write on, like a Google Docs. I'm trying to pull up notes. It's taking its time. What I want to do, here we go. No, not spreadsheets. New note. Can I make this full size? Maybe, maybe not.
I don't know.
Share screen. Window. I don't know if we're going to be able to do it. Let's just put it this way. Imagine something's on the board. There's supposed to be like a whiteboard feature, and I can't seem to pull it up. I don't know why it won't pull up. But the general idea is, what does God say or do in the... I'm getting my words mixed up. Not God.
I don't know.
Stop, close my eyes, pay attention for a second. And what does the book of Proverbs say in the first few chapters? What is he getting at? Because I can't help but feel like the most important advice is in the beginning. That there's good advice going through this, but why does he lead with what he leads in the very beginning?
Let me go back to the first.
So, and I'm saying the first beginning few chapters. What are we at? What chapter did we do? We just did 6?
Yes.
So let me update this again, the title, to 6, so we don't get confused with that.
So next week we don't read 6 again.
Yeah, next week we won't read chapter 6 again. So I mean, I'd really like to have a whiteboard with me.
Good to see you there, Tim. Good to see you, brother.
I'm going to here, Google Docs. Can I sign in? I don't remember my Google Docs account. Google Docs. I just need a blank document. Give me a blank document. It looks like we got a blank document. Yes. Okay. Hold on, everybody. Let me take you with me. I don't care if there's been some new updates.
It's kind of nice to be able to watch the sky grow darker at your window.
Yeah, it is nice. Okay. Turn on my camera. And my screen is loading. I think we're stuck. Oh, the pain. Okay, we're here. We have everything. Wait. Now the live pad loads?
I don't know what you're trying to do.
I don't know what's going on. Are we sharing this or what? What can you see? Does it show this? What is my screen sharing at the moment? I don't know.
I don't know what you're trying to do, Jeremiah.
I'm trying to share a screen, and it shared something, and I don't know what it is. Chat, do you see new live pad, or do you see... Hold on. Or do you see FTG continuing? What do you guys see? Because I am completely lost here.
You want me to bring it up on my phone?
Probably. Try that. I don't know which one you're seeing, because we tried a live pad. It then updated and got the live pad in here, but then like I did the Google Slides at the same, Google Docs at the same time.
Okay. This is what I'm seeing on YouTube.
Okay. So we're sharing the Google Docs. Great. Stop sharing. Oh no, I think I just broke it again. Okay, we're now over here. Okay. Let me start over. Okay. Proverbs. Ryan, is the font size acceptable?
Let me see.
I just want to make sure that the font size.
It looks really small to me on my phone.
How about now? Hold on, give it a second. I upped it.
It's itty bitty. I can't read it.
You got baby size going on.
Huh?
Here, try it. Watch what happens. Watch what happens. I made it bigger.
Okay, now I can see it.
Okay. Let's keep moving forward. Proverbs. What do we first hear in Proverbs? What's like the very first thing that goes down in Proverbs? I would say he says, listen. Right? Number one, he says, listen. And I'm wondering if I can get this in a bullet point. I forget how all of this stuff works. Checklist?
Oh.
Bullet point. There you go.
Oh.
So what's next? We got to listen.
Listen. Follow my instructions.
Let's listen. I would say the next thing is to stay upright. He says stay upright. But then furthermore, he says, watch out for whores. And he says that several times. He says, watch out for whores.
He really does drill that into you. He really does.
Is that how you spell that?
Well, that's the ghetto way to say it.
Okay. Well, I don't want to spell the biblical way to say it.
Okay.
That's the normal way right there.
Okay.
Or you know what? I like this phrase more. Okay. Evil women.
You could put harlot.
That's not how you spell woman.
Woman.
Am I right there?
There you go.
I'm dyslexic. I'm working on it here. Okay. I'm being brave to showing this to you.
Seductive.
Well, he says evil woman.
Mm-hmm.
He says evil woman. Watch for the evil woman. Invest in a family. That's the other thing he says. He says invest in family.
And that's what he's doing. And that's why one reason why I just admire him so much. He is doing this.
Because I'm one. I've never read the entire book of Proverbs.
Well, you're a lot more wise than I was at your age. I will say that. I was a man child for a long time.
There is something really cool in the Bible, and I recommend everybody do this, even if you feel like it's stupid. The Bible even supports this. He says, if you ask for wisdom, you will get it. Let's actually find out where. Okay. I'm going to pull up AI because AI is one of my best friends. Hold on. Where in the Bible does it say, ask for wisdom and he will give it to you?
Great question. In James 1:5, it says, if any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you.
You told me that you did that.
I asked for wisdom after I heard that verse, and I heard the story of King Solomon. And I was like, I need wisdom. I am stupid. I am ignorant. I need wisdom. And virtually every day, I wasn't religious about it, but I would ask for wisdom every time I thought about it. Several times a day. Sometimes I'd skip a day, but I would just ask for wisdom excessively. I don't feel
If
wise.
you need anything else, just let me
Shut
know.
up, AI. I don't feel wise. I'm not trying to boast and brag.
Right.
But when I see the first few lines of Proverbs, I've listened to other people's advice. I try to be upright. I'm human. I sin. I'm not going to say I'm perfect. Okay. I got a lot of dirt on me. I've stayed away from evil women.
Evil woman. Devil
And
woman.
I've invested in a family. So generally, I think I got a leg up. And I think we should all
His said my name.
get your own son.
Well, I got it. God has blessed me with a ton of little brothers, and I'm thankful for every single one of them.
Anyway, as I was saying, because I'm trying to stay on topic, okay? Has he said anything else? I want to make sure we got everything else. We got listen or follow to instruction, stay upright, avoid evil women. I would say one more that he says, and I'd say it's right around here, is don't follow your heart.
Yes. Heart.
H-E-A-R-T.
I can think of an instance in my own life where if I had obeyed, are we on cam?
Yes, we're on
I
camera.
don't see myself.
We're up here. You can see us in that little corner. I'll show you what we see.
I just happen to have a heart on my shirt, a shirt that I bought from a young man that I went to see last night.
See, we're down here.
Okay. Yeah, Bryce Crawford sold me this shirt.
We can do a little Bryce Crawford interjection. Hold on.
Yeah. The young man I bought this shirt from, I went and saw him last night, and it was a very moving time, and it was such a blessing. I got to actually interact with him one-on-one a little bit and got my picture taken with him, and it meant a lot to me because he has really been a blessing. And what really struck me the most is all the young people in there and them talking about their own pain and their own struggles. And they can identify with him because it's like what you're going through, I went through. And I'm there with you. I'm one of you. And I think that's why they all just love him so much. You should have seen how they acted around him. Like wherever he would go, after the show was over, there'd be this mob that would go with him. Probably that way. Talked about the mobs, the crowds that would follow Jesus. It kind of reminded me of that, the way they hung around Bryce the way they did. But anyway, don't follow your heart. Your heart is useful to you, but it should not rule you. It's good to have feelings and emotions. But at the same time, if those feelings and emotions want you to do something unwise or something that could get you into trouble, don't obey it. Don't obey it. Always let wisdom, like he was talking about, wisdom. When someone is wise, they do what's right, even if it doesn't feel right. Don't always do, what you feel like doing isn't always what you should do. In fact, it probably isn't most of the time. If somebody wrongs you and you feel like getting even with them, don't. The Bible says don't. Jesus himself said don't. Pray for them. Return their meanness with kindness. Now, is it easy? No. Trust me, I went through an experience where all I wanted to do is cuss somebody out every time I saw them. But Jesus, that's what this wanted me to do. But he wanted me to be kind. And there's a saying, if you can't say something nice, don't say nothing at all. I had to live that for a long time. I would want to say something mean, and I'd have to bite my tongue. And I'm glad I did. I'm glad I did bite my tongue and did not follow my heart.
Well,
What
I
else
think
you
that's
got?
going to be the end of the chapter today. We did
Three
chapters 4 to 6, correct?
Mm-hmm.
4, 5, 6. Okay. So that's it. We're going to end today. Editor's note as the final thing we're going to be saying. Okay, so everybody comment, like, share, all that whatnot. I got to say that, for the whatever. Editor's note. We finished chapter 6. Don't reread chapter